swimming in sunshine. Everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the fun line. Ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine. Everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line. Ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine. Everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line. Ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Okay. Good morning, councillors. Good morning, officers. I'd like to open the Infrastructure Committee meeting for the 1st of August 2023 and firstly begin with the acknowledgement to country and acknowledge the traditional custodians and the land in which we meet, the Darumbal people, and pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging. I extend that respects to our neighbouring Aboriginal peoples within our local government area, the Gungaloo Nation people, the Barada, Cabelbarra and Yadamarala people. Also acknowledging the Torres Strait Islander peoples whose land are in the Torres Strait but who live and work on Aboriginal land. Good morning. We'll start off with the leave of absence and apologies. So Councillor Smith tendered her apology for today and will not be in attendance. Councillor Rutherford's put in for a leave of absence and Councillor Fisher is online. Councillor Sheree? Oh, Councillor Rutherford is online. Is it? No, that's Beck, I think. No, that's not her. So we have that at this stage. So, councillors, we'll move on to confirmation of the previous minutes from the Infrastructure Committee meeting held on the 4th of July 2023 be confirmed as a true and accurate record. Can I have a mover and a second with regards to that? Moved, Councillor Wickerson. Seconded, Councillor Kirkland. I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. Moving on to declarations in interest in matters on the agenda. Councillors, we haven't had any brought to us before, but if there's something that arises throughout the course of the meeting, please inform the meeting at that point. Moving on, outstanding business nil, public forums, deputations nil, presentations or petitions nil, committee reports nil, 10 councillors. We move on to the officers' reports, 11.1, the amendments to the previous reporting Fitzroy River Water Performance Plan. And Peter or Dan? Oh, Dan, hand over to Dan to present that report for this morning's meeting. Thanks very much, Dan.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. The report, I think it's relatively straightforward. We're just trying to provide councillors the opportunity to ask any questions about some corrections we've made before the report is presented to the next council meeting, where we've found through, part of it's been found through work we've been doing to address, I suppose, a few anomalies in the reporting where there are some performance indicators that are not really truly indicative. So when you see the new year reporting, some of them are gone, but in doing that work we found a few that hadn't been reported quite correctly, and part of that's because there's so many different sources of information, and we've been working with the business improvement team to automate some of that to a certain extent and improve the accuracy of the reporting. So I guess rather than work through them, I'm happy to answer any questions that the councillors might have about those specific corrections or what they might mean.
Okay, thanks very much, Dan. Councillor Kirkland, Portfolio Spokesperson, anything?
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Yeah, I mean, it is, as Dan has said, straightforward. We can see there that there's only the one area that I think, for me personally, that has changed that you might want to just talk on, Dan, is around that relative incidence of planned and unplanned interruption incidents. Just maybe talk a little bit about that one, because it's gone from a green light to a red light.
So which one's that? Number?
C555? Is it CS555? I can't write. I did go to the... I'm getting new glasses, so it's all good. Yeah.
Page 1 of 3, Dan, sorry, the bottom one there, the CSS5.
CSS5, yeah, okay. So that's one of the indicators that won't be in the new reporting, because what it's meant to do, it's meant to report the relative difference or comparison between planned and unplanned interruptions to supply. So in a circumstance where we have a year where we don't have a lot of, say, main replacement work that creates the need for planned shutdowns, it means that any unplanned shutdowns become a very skewed reporting number. And so I think in that instance there, where we're looking at Mount Morgan, the number became very non-compliant because we haven't been doing any, say, main replacement work at Mount Morgan, which means there haven't been any planned shutdowns or disruptions. So a single unplanned disruption becomes a very high percentage because there's nothing to compare it against as a planned shutdown. So, hence the reason when I started to look through these, I found that one and a couple of others where we really had a hard think about them and decided that they're not really adding any value to reporting on the performance of the network.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Mr Mayor. I'm happy to move that this amendment be received, and it's good to see that officers are always constantly looking to refine and make this reporting process a better and more effective as well as process, but also they're not wasting their time doing something that's unnecessary or unproductive. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Kirkland. We have a move, Councillor Kirkland. Have someone like to second? Deputy Mayor, Councillor Fisher. Did you have a question at all, Councillor Fisher? Just second. Okay.
No, Mr Mayor, just second it.
Second.
It's a good report.
Yep. No further questions. I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. Thanks very much, Dan.
Excuse me, Mr Mayor.
Oh, sorry, did you have your light on?
Yeah, I did, but just right at the end. Mr Mayor, sorry, I hope you don't mind, but I just wanted to make a comment to Dan. I spoke to him the other day. I think you received a copy of a thank you email the other day. So I just wanted to say once again, Dan, in a public forum, that thank you so much for the work that yourself and your team are doing. I know it's a hard job and there's a lot of you have a lot of balls in the air, but it's just great. We don't often get thank you emails, and it was just great to see that. So thanks for the work that you're doing.
Good point, Councillor Mathers. It's so many times we receive the negative and focus on that far too heavily. It's the good news. There's stories that need to be equally supported and brought to the table, and thank the staff for their work that they do behind the scenes. Okay, moving on to our next item, 10.2, the Fogo Post trial, cleansing collection services, and hand over to Michael there for the report on this one. So thanks very much, Michael.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor, and good morning, councillors. So I guess, well, councillors obviously aware of the 12-month trial we undertook, and we presented a report on that at that time, and by all accounts it was a very successful trial. Council was also aware of the report that we presented back in June around the update to our business case and some of the barriers that we were facing in finalising that business case, and therefore being in a position to be able to offer a curbside organic service in a reasonably short period of time. So I guess that's what's led to this report. So back in August 2022, so about 12 months ago, and just prior to the ending of that 12-month trial, we came to council and asked for approval to continue the trial for a period of 21 months to the trial participants on an opt-in basis. So 21 months put us out to the 30th of June 2024, which at that point in time was the time that we thought, probably optimistically, was the time frame we could offer a community-wide service. On terms of the opt-in basis that we had approval to proceed on, we undertook a survey of the trial participants, and we actually received a fairly low response rate. I think we only got about 50% response rate. So then I sort of struggled a little bit with what I do with that. Do I go and remove 50% of the bins, or did a proportion of the non-respondents just not read the survey but still may want the service? So I basically made the decision to change it to an opt-out rather than an opt-in. We had about 201 that chose to opt out. So I guess the remaining either chose to opt in or just didn't respond to that survey, which made it a little bit tricky. But so on that basis, we've got about 73% of the original participants still undertaking or taking advantage of that service. That said, the presentation rate on a weekly basis is around about 65%. which sort of tells us that while they might still have the bin, they're not using it, or not everyone is using it. As a comparison, the red-lidded bin, the waste bin, is probably around that 80% participation rate, and the recycling bin is sort of in the low to mid 70% participation rate. So it's even sort of, so it's a little bit lower than those. So I guess from an operational perspective, continuing the service, because within the route where we're providing the service, we've got a combination of residents who've got a weekly FOGO bin, and then their neighbours got a no FOGO bin, and they've got a weekly waste bin. We're finding that a lot of residents who should only really receive a fortnightly waste bin are saying, well, my neighbour's sticking my bin out every week, I'm just going to stick mine out and see if the Garbo picks it up. And we typically do, just to avoid the conversation through customer service that you missed my bin, and then we go back and we got to say, well, you're actually on a fortnightly, you're next Tuesday, not this Tuesday, and so we typically just pick them up to avoid the hassle. So that's probably all I wanted to say. There's a number of operational challenges. There's probably low participation rate. Still very, very, very supportive of a curbside organic service, and we do need to get there, and I'm sure we will need to get there. But at this point in time, my recommendation is that we cease that service from the end of August. We've prepared some communications, and letters will go out, subject to Council's approval today, thanking all the participants for their genuine support and assistance throughout that service, explaining that we're just stopping it for now, but we are working on a longer-term community-wide service. So.
Okay, thanks very much, Michael. I'll ask the portfolio spokesperson, Councillor Latcham, question,
thanks,
comment?
Mr. Mayor. To Michael. Michael, congratulations for bringing this to and this report to this recommendation to the council table. I know it's a tough decision, but it's backed up by data, and the data shows that obviously we've got some challenges now and in the future to bring this through, and that was when we were offering it for free. So imagine if you're going to have to ask the community, we want you to pay for this service. How challenging is that going to be? But we've got a lot of data from during the trial, the 12-month trial. We've got a lot of data after the trial, and that's a lot of experience that will count for something in the future when we go down this pathway. So I know there will be some people who loved it passionately, I guess we've just got to work towards eventually one day, with the support of the state and federal, of being able to achieve FOGO in our region. So thank you very much for the report, and fully support this.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Latcham. You happy to move? Yep. Councillor Mathers.
Thanks very much, Mr. Mayor. I've got a question and a comment, if that's all right. So, Michael, the comment that I wanted to make was sometimes the issue with being forward-thinking is that sometimes we can be a little bit too far ahead of the game, and I think maybe that's what's happened here, unfortunately. I feel bad for yourself and the team, because I know how much work and effort has gone into this, and it's a real shame that you've had the roadblocks at higher levels above local government that have probably hindered the progress as well. But I think, like Councillor Latcham said, we've got some really good data there that, when we can make it happen, we'll be on the front foot, ready to go with that. So thanks for your work with that. The question I did have is in regards to the 562 people that didn't opt out. I think it was 369 bin presentations. Has that number been dropping off, or is it's just that's the participation rate?
I think that's correct. Yeah, no, the number hasn't dropped off. The number has remained the same. Yep. It's just that and that's probably because they're just sneaking their bin out, their red bin out every week, and they're not using their green bin, so their participation rate has dropped.
All right, then that's fair enough, and I understand you went through those percentages for us earlier. I was just wondering from when they didn't opt out whether there was been a gradual decline or not. But no. Yeah. All right, thanks very much, Mr.
Thanks, Councillor Mathers. Councillor Fisher, do you have a comment, or just wish to second?
Sorry, Mr. Mayor. Actually, both. I would like to second this. Thank Michael and the team for the work that they have done. But I think what Councillor Mather said is true in some effect. We were actually, with Townsville City Council, were one of the leaders in this and have been one of the drivers in regional Queensland for it. But I think it's time to actually see the state catch up to us. And I think if a program like this is going to come to regional Queensland, we actually have to have the state leading, and that we do this as a group of councillors rather than just leading from the front foot. So I think we've done everything right. The team have probably been very, very thorough, and I actually think that they have been more thorough than Townsville. Maybe Matt McCarthy up there might argue, but I think we've got all of the framework that we could easily start a FOGO trial when it becomes viable. But I do believe it's a state, maybe it's the larger councils, the Rockhampton, Mackay, Townsville, Cairns, that lead the way. But the process has been really great. I think I got nothing but praise for the team and the support of council, because some of the other councils in regional Queensland have not had the full support of the councillors and the council table. That makes a big difference when you're going to something there that's actually evolutionary and going to make a great difference in the future. So I think this has been a great program. It's been something that we've learnt from. Now we've got to just bring the state ahead of us to actually lead this process to the next stage. So thank you very much, and I would be very happy to second that motion.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Fisher. Again, we have a mover and a second. And, yeah, Michael, I echo the comments from the councillors. I think we've been proactive in this space, and the staff took it on with full integrity, and one there we could see the benefits of it. We've got that data there that's not going to be lost, so which again would prove benefit eventually going forward. And I echo Councillor Deputy Mayor Councillor Fisher's comments that we need to work closely with the state government about how we introduce this in the years to come. Okay, Dirk, no further comments. I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. You can pass that back to the staff that worked in that space as well. Thank you, Michael. Moving on to item 10.3, the Wandle Walking Network Plan. Jamie will walk us through this one. It's the second of these plans that we're bringing to the table. So thanks very much and welcome to the meeting. Jamie.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, all. Following on from our recent briefing session, so this report seeks council endorsement of the Wandle Walking Network Plan. So just as a bit of a refresher, council received funding through the Department of Transport and Main Roads to put together a walking local government or walking network plan through the Walking Local Government Grant Program. So the whole idea of the walking network plan is to create more walkable communities. We're looking at focusing on areas, a 2-kilometre area around a particular primary destination. In this case, the Wandle area and surrounds was chosen, with the Wandle shopping precinct nominated as the primary destination. So the walking network plan followed guidance by the Department of Main Roads. In all, 42 projects were identified to improve the walking environment. Most of the projects were already identified in our walking and cycling strategy pathway program, but those that were not identified in that program will be incorporated and prioritised against the other projects. So as part of the grant, the funding agreement, council has requested to endorse the walking network plan. So that includes the walking network plan, the prioritised list of projects and the summary report. So having a endorsed walking network plan will also hopefully open up further funding opportunities as they may present themselves. So happy to take any questions.
Thanks very much, Jamie. Councillors, we have workshopped this one and a lot of the questions were asked at that point, but if there's anything there that need to ask Jamie at this point, if not, could I have a mover and a seconder with regards to this report? Move Councillor Wickerson, seconded Councillor Mathers. Put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. Thanks very much, Jamie. Great report. We'll move on to our next item, the 10.4, sorry, the Archer Street Drainage Scheme, Stages 1 and 2. And Martin?
Morning, Mayor and Councillors. This particular report is in relation to the Archer Street Drainage Scheme. Councillors may recall that we sought and received a significant amount of funding from the federal government on this a number of years ago, and we've been progressing this work. In March this year, we commenced our detailed design for Stage 2 of the drainage scheme, and at that time we had some particular concerns around the obvious cost escalations that were happening in our region, and so we sought an early update to the preliminary construction estimate. That construction estimate then came back at $14.5 million, which is considerably more than what the original estimate was. This obviously brought into question the viability of the project. We're suggesting that that amount of money, it's not value for money at this point in time. We did look at a number of options as to, well, what can we do with the money that we have? None of those really produced the hydraulic benefits that we were seeking. So we're still of a view that certainly that Stage 2 of the works is not presenting as value for money for council at this point in time, and we should return that issue, that drainage issue, back to the infrastructure planning team to look at again as part of the overall sort of drainage prioritisation across the region. If council were to continue with this project at the $14.5 million, we would need to, I mean, if the federal government agreed to coming up with their extra money to match the 50%, council would still have to find an extra $4.4 million. If the federal government decide no, the council, that's your problem, which I think is probably the more likely outcome, then we would be seeking a further $8.8 million in the budget. My report actually mentions 11.6. That's incorrect. It should be 8.8. 11.6 would have been the overall contribution, so we would have needed an extra 8.8. So that's the basis of my resolution. We still want to proceed with Stage 1 of the works, which is very minor in nature. It's about $170,000 worth of work. It's just some footpath reshaping on the corner of Quarry and Cambridge and Canning and Archer. We still believe there's value in doing those works. They're only about $170,000 all up. So we were looking to go back to the federal government and say we want to complete the Stage 1 works as part of this project, or we want to reduce the scope of the project, so we just do the Stage 1 works and we discontinue Stage 2. That's essentially where I'm at with this particular report.
Thanks very much, Martin.
Questions?
Yeah, thank you. And again, very prudent. I think it's we're not the only council in Queensland, or for that state, for that matter, across the country that's facing these challenges with the escalation in project costs, and to embark on something of that nature that's not providing value for money at this point in time is something there that we struggle with, and we've had a difficult budget like we've seen other projects in the capital program similarly impacted as well. So unfortunately, it's the nature of the times at the moment, and we just have to work within our means, so to speak, in that space there. So would the project at a future date again seek federal funding to look at it if we repackage it?
Quite possibly. So what we intend to do is take it back into this floodplain risk management work we're currently doing, and see if it still throws up this as one of the higher priority projects. If that is the case, we have a number of options. I mean, one of the options we looked at was downsizing the pipe sizes and things like that, but that then addressed a certain location of drainage issue, but didn't allow us to address further upstream and in the top end of Canning, Archer Street towards the Canning Street end. So there's a whole number of options we need to go back and have a look at again, and if something pops up as being value for money, we will then resubmit to whatever future funding programs are available to us.
Yeah, I think it's something that the government, the federal government's going to have to battle with, and you can see what they're doing with a lot of the highway projects that were earmarked. They're reviewing those. I think it's a similar vein for these number of other projects that have received federal funding for, and how we can work with them to deliver those projects in the future is to get value for money and achieve what we're seeking at the end of the day. Questions? Councillor Mathers.
Thank you very much, Mr Mayor. Just got
Councillor Fisher.
A comment and a question, if that's
Yep.
all right. In regards to my comment first up is, Mr Mayor, I think this is just another example of, with the escalation in cost of labour and construction costs and materials and everything, I think it's prudent that if there's any projects we have that, can be postponed, it's probably a good thing because, these costs are just, it's almost 3 times as much, so I can understand why you've made the decisions you've made. But the question I do have is in regards to the almost $3 million that would have been in the capital budget for this project over, I think, the 2023, the 23, 24 and 24, 25 financial years. How does that get prioritised? Obviously that goes back into, the capital funding. Where does that money then go to? Is that there's just a list of priorities and it goes to the next project?
I should answer as an engineer or answer on behalf of finance.
Okay. All right.
Certainly, I suppose it's a decision the council table need to make. Certainly from the long-term financial forecast point of view, not having to fund or take loans for that additional $3 million is probably something they would favour. It was funded out of money that was allocated to drainage in general in the future. And it'll come back to, I suppose, a council decision whether they want to reallocate that money or just lessen their loan borrowings.
Yeah, Mr Mayor, I'd be more than happy to hold that money until we see what we need it for, but I just, you just want to make sure it's not just getting reallocated to,
No, it's just these things. There's changes in the capital program. It's just one of those changes, and the next time we do a budget review, we'll have a look at where we're. Because unfortunately, whilst this is feels like a saving, it's a deferral. We will have some other projects where it's the other way around, where we can't not do it, and it's higher. So we'll look at that and present that back to council.
All right, totally get that, and thanks very much for that, Peter. That's all I suppose. I was just looking to see whether we get to find out where that money is looking at being.
It'll be presented back to the table, but at this stage, there's nothing earmarked, so to speak.
All right, thank you very much.
Councillor Fisher. Deputy Mayor.
I had nothing.
Oh, I just got your little hand in the air there on the screen.
Oh, my apologies, Mr Mayor.
No, you're right. Look, councillors, there's no further questions to Martin and the team. I'm happy to move in the absence of the portfolio spokesperson and seek a seconder. Councillor Kirkland, I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. Thanks very much for that report, Martin. Unfortunately, it's a sign of the times. Moving on to item 10.5, the Civil Operations Monthly Report for June 2023, and welcome Blue to present your report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. This report just provides a snapshot of where we are at the end of April. So everything's progressing on target, so I'll probably simplest to take any questions anyone has.
Okay, councillors, you'll have the opportunity to read the report. Any questions to Blue? Councillor Kirkland, question.
Yes, thanks, Mr Mayor. Blue, is this a detail of all of the works that you've got planned to do and are coming, or is it like you've just used the word snapshot? I was just wondering if there's other things that may not be in this report. I just did send you an email yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that this report here is talking in terms of what's happening from last financial year, because of the reporting time frames. This shows what was on status for last financial year. I don't believe all of the next financial year ones are in there just yet. The project you queried about is on there as one of the STIP funding projects. It's currently being under design and is due for construction in Q2.
Okay, that was the Whiten Knight Street,
yes.
Just so that the rest of the table are aware of what Awesome, alrighty, thank you. That was really my main question. It's always great to have these reports. It's good for us as councillors to be able to go back to the community and say, yes, this one's coming. That one is done, and the list of completed works is also encouraging. Mr. Mayor, can I just comment about the Farm and Alexandra Street upgrade? The photos in this report show some fencing and everything around. Just last week, I think the fencing came down around that intersection, and it looks fabulous. I've spoken to the corner store owner there, and he's back on track. So everybody seems to be quite happy with that, and we've had a little bit of rain, and there was no impact to the residents of the units there on the corner of Alexandra and Farm. So all is looking well. Congratulations. I know that was a hair pulling. You probably got a couple of grey hairs out of that one, did you?
Oh, a couple in there.
Thank you.
It's been a good project. There's been some challenges, but all up, that project, I think over a 12 or 14-month project, all up slipped by about a month over the whole lot, which is pretty good considering the wet weather delays and some of the working with other agencies. You're always working on, you might be ready for them from Monday, but they may not be available from Monday. So we've had a few of those, but the crew have done very well. There's been some challenges, but they've done well. There's a little bit of work remaining just on the corner there near Cal Snack Bar. Once again, we're working with NBN about their availability, but we've committed to knocking that over as quick as we can to minimise the impact when that's done. I've been out to Cal's and bought something out of the hot box and had a yarn to him, and like I said, he's bouncing back well. So
it's always the pain for the gain. Unfortunately, councillors, you'll learn with the experience over the time for the new councillors. These projects, you got your timelines and your budget. They're never in stone or concrete. There's always those challenges that come along with those projects, and it's the pain for the gain at the end of the day. It's a lot of the pain that you'll experience as you start these projects, but at the end of the day, it needs to occur, and it's just part of the delivery of that infrastructure in a lot of our urban networks. So thank you, Councillor Kirkland, for those comments. Back to the team and Blue on that. Peter, did you want to mention something?
There is a change to this reporting, and that is, if you remember the month before, it had some other statistics which were customer service stats, approvals or applications for permits. All of those graphs have been moved into, so they haven't disappeared, they've been moved into the whole of council report, okay? Because they really fit better there, okay?
And that's a better snapshot for the councillors and the public to see it in that format. Sorry, Peter. Thank you. Thanks for that. Blue, I don't think we have any other questions. Again, could I seek a mover and a seconder with regards to this report? Councillor Latcham, seconded Councillor Mathers. I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. And that brings us on to our last item, councillors, in the report. Oh, we have a confidential matter to be dealt with as well. 10.6, Project Delivery Capital Projects Report for July 2023. And we haven't got Councillor Smith with us today, so we won't need to worry about any conflicts at this point, unless something comes up. Okay, and hand over to you, Andrew, to present your report.
Thank you, Mayor, councillors. So the July capital project delivery report. So the first project report on is the Botanic Gardens and Zoo. So this is the visitor hub project. So following last week's decision of council, we're now progressing to develop that package in relation to the amenities block and to start that project. So we'll get that finalised and out to the market in the next few weeks. The enclosure renewal project, so the Eagle enclosure has now reached practical completion. So just work with the zoo staff. I think they've applied for all their permits and everything to allow for the shift of the Eagle. So I think that'll happen in the next couple of weeks. Also following, I suppose, the meeting last week, the Avery works on the Avery Dome. We will commence doing a bit more detailed design to further develop that project. Athelstane Reservoir roof replacement. As I reported last time, there is a bit of a supply chain issue in getting the correct purlins. So we've now engaged a builder. They've ordered the materials. However, we're going to postpone that now to the lower water demand period, probably March, April next year, to actually do the works. North Rockhampton Sewage Treatment Plant, so work's continuing over there. They've both now got both the clarifier and the bioreactor and oxidation ditch under hydrostatic testing. They're also installing the balance of the walkways, platforms. There's a number of pumps, so RAS and WAS pumps have gone in, pipe work, cabling, so it's just a lot of activity happening over there at the moment. Glenmore Water Treatment Plant upgrade. So work continues on filters 7 and 4. So they've done the demolition and correction to the floors on those two filter cells and started with the under drain installation. So they'll work through that whole reconstruction and putting them back online, I think probably end of September. Electrical cabling work and other works is continuing on site. Glenmore Water Treatment Plant Solar Farm. So work's just continuing on site with trenching and construction of platforms for the kiosks. There is a delay with those, but we expect them now to be here a bit earlier than was anticipated in the report, so about November this year. So as soon as they come out of Canada, as soon as they arrive, we'll get them installed and get that project commissioned. Gracemere in South Rockhampton STP strategy. So the design development's happening for the augmentation of South Rockhampton. So we've got a 3D model that's been developed and we've had a workshop with FRW, so we'll continue to work with them and the designers to put forward a design solution, temporary design solution for that plant to take the load from Gracemere. Gracemere, we've installed the new aeration system. There's just a little bit of the switchboard arrives this week, so in the next few weeks we'll have that all connected up and commissioned. Mount Morgan Pool, so I'm pleased to say that the demolition's well underway up there. So they've demolished the kiosk, the plant room, they're into the pool. The pool's it's constructed of double brick on the wall, so it's coming apart fairly easy, and it's, I suppose, a testament to the construction that it had lasted this long, being a rendered brick walled structure. So we'll continue there. I think by the end of next week, most of that site will be cleared, ready for the reconstruction. Mount Morgan Water Treatment Plant, so practical completion's now been issued for that refurbishment, and I think FRW are going to start the commissioning mid-August, so that'll be commissioned and ready for use with the water pipeline when we want to close the Razorback Road. Mount Morgan Water Pipeline, so we do have a workshop this week, Thursday, with the state government. We're obviously still pursuing the additional grant funding from the federal government. So hopefully this workshop will help facilitate obtaining that grant. We've engaged EcoSure just to do a final walk through the site, just to ensure we have finalised the environmental approval requirements. That's it, Councillor.
Councillor Kirkland.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I have a few questions, 3 questions here, if that's okay. So the first question was with regards to the Mount Morgan Water Treatment Plant, and just wanting to know what the plans are moving forward with that. Bureau of Meteorology has got the dam at 35.9% capacity. If you could probably just elaborate a little bit on whether the usage of that, what you envisage the usage of that to be moving forward.
As through the chair, as we've explained, we
see that it's commissioned, due for
nothing's changed. We've refurbed, it's going to be commissioned, and then it's going to be shut back down.
Right, yeah.
As is.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted probably to take the opportunity to bring some clarity around that. Really good. My other question is on the Glenmore Water Treatment Plant solar panels. And I see that there's a few mechanisms that have got to happen. You mentioned November as when they would be done. Is that about the time that you expect that solar plant would start activating and commissioning would start then for use of that?
They're a major component, so they take the feed, convert it into the power required into the grid. So until they're installed, there could be a few months of, there's still a switchboard connection.
There's still a bit more to happen.
Yeah,
after
it
that.
won't be November and it's online. It'll
Probably not till next year. We
Yeah,
might
I'd
not
imagine
see-
early next year would be the...
Okay,
yeah.
we might not realise the benefits of that solar farm until maybe next year, early
That's
next
correct.
year. All right, that was probably the other one there. And finally, the recycled water coming out of the South Rocky sewage treatment plant. I've got here, when will we see that being utilised from the site? Yeah, and if there's an update at all on the sludge?
No, I can't give you a date on that. There's a lot of work to go on. Andrew's reporting about the physical construction through the grant that we got a grant for to build this effluent pump.
Yep.
There's a whole range of other steps outside of that about someone taking
Still
that
to
water.
happen. Still to happen.
So we can come back, but there's, yeah,
It just feels like it's been going on for so long, that's all, yeah.
it has. You're right. Okay.
Okay.
The project was supposed to be finished 2 years ago.
Yes.
Actual construction.
Yeah, yeah. And around the sludge, is there anything happening with that going to be utilised?
We are currently out to tender and it's closed, being assessed for basically the market in terms of who look at accessing and taking biosolids. So,
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Wickerson.
Thanks, Mayor. Through you to Andrew. Just with Athelstane roof, reservoir roof replacement, so it's just the purlins and the sheeting at this stage. What do we know what the life expectancy of the actual structure is? Like, I know it's quite old, and it's quite a complicated dome truss roof. So do we periodically inspect that? Like, there's no surprises coming up that the actual structure needs to be replaced or renewed?
I'll probably refer over to Dan if I could.
Yeah.
Dan?
Sorry, Dan, just with the actual structure of the Athelstane reservoir roof, it's like a domed, quite complicated truss structure. So do we check that to make sure that it's where it is in its life cycle?
So you're referring to one of the old in-ground, there's 4 reservoirs up at
So it's
Athelstane.
not the domed roof?
No, it's not those,
Oh,
it's Res D, the round one.
Yep.
Yeah.
With just a flat roof, it's not the dome roof?
Oh, it's got a hip in it,
Oh,
but it's essentially just, it's
Okay.
not the 2 in the ground, no.
No, okay. No, that answers it. Thank you.
Part of the works under this is a bit of work on the actual structure. Just it's all galvanised, but it's just prefixing a bit of plating and preparing, and so it does last for another 25 years. The roof, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Andrew and Dan, for that comment. So, no further questions, councillors. I'll seek a mover and a seconder with regards to that report. Move Councillor Kirkland, second Councillor Wickerson. I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. Councillors, that brings us to our end of the agenda items, that we do have an item to be dealt with in closed session. And in accordance with the provisions of section 254J3 of the Local Government Regulations 2012, the local government may resolve to close the meeting to the public to discuss the confidential items such as the council members consider for this meeting. Could I have a mover and a seconder with that? Move Councillor Wickerson, seconded Councillor Mathers. I'll put that. Those in favour? Motion's carried. And that the meeting now, council move into closed session. I'm happy to move. Seek a seconder. Councillor Kirkland, I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you.
ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
Taking the good with the ups and downs. I wanna see how the world turns round. Let's go adventure in the deep blue sea. Home is with you wherever that may be. Home is with you wherever that may be.
Now that we've arrived here, I would not change a thing. Knew that we'd survive here and all the goodness we would bring. Of this I sing. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming in sunshine, everybody feeling fine. Everybody join the front line, ain't nobody left behind. Everybody swimming.
floor open there, please.
Just, Mayor, if I could as well, just
Sorry, question, Councillor Wickerson?
That vote probably should have been an open, isn't it?
To move out, move into, to move out of closed session?
Oh, we didn't vote on this?
No.
Oh, okay, sorry.
To move into.
My apologies.
Okay, councillors, we now are in open session and we have the officer's recommendation there. We have a mover, Councillor Latcham, and seconded Councillor Fisher. Councillors, I'll put that. Those in favour? Those opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. Thank you. Councillors, that brings us to the end of our agenda items for this morning. I'd like to thank you all for your participation and also the officers for their reports, and I'll declare the meeting closed.